Today, we interview Ian from Gunning Designs, a fellow Durcoat artist. Can't wait to show you what he's doing. Hi guys, welcome back to our 6th episode of Coffee Time. And today we have a very special guest, Ian from Gunning Designs.
What's happening?
Ian, thanks for coming, brother.
Hey, absolutely.
Ian, I've been admiring your work for a long time. You're a local brother, and you do a lot of the same stuff that we do here on your own. Tell us about how you got started.
Oh, well, I grew up in a home where my dad was like a do-it-yourselfer guy. So my young life from late teens after I got out of the Army until my 20s, I always wanted to build and fix and stuff. So that's part of the reason I love this countertop so much, for example. I'm like, oh, I want to see how it made. And that's just kind of how it went. And then I was like, okay, I want to do furniture. I'm like, okay, I want to stop my regular job. I want to go do custom furniture. And then I'm like, how am I going to do that? I don't have space to store furniture. So that sort of fell apart. And then my dad died. And when he died, I inherited some firearms that he had. And unfortunately, my dad didn't take care of his guns very much. They were in rough shape. So I took one to a local place to have it just refinished back to the factory. And I got it back, and it was pretty nice. It was basic. And
About how long ago was this?
Oh, this was 2013 or 14 maybe.
Yeah.
And I was like, I could do that. I think I can do that. So I got an old revolver that we found when we were clearing stuff out, and it was sitting in a leather holster that was completely molded. And the revolver itself, one whole side had been just sitting in the leather and had rusted and pitted, and I just decided that I was going to refinish it. And many hours and grueling bad words later, I tried my hand at cold bluing, which was a pain in the butt, but it did it. And I refinished it, and I hand filed it, and I was so like, this is what I want to do with this. I got to figure out how to make this happen. And so thankfully I had some really good friends who let me play with their stuff and figure out how to make things work. And I found Durcoat and got really close to Steve and his 2 kids. And they talked to me constantly about helping me through it and what to do and how to use things. And it was amazing. The love that they gave me as a nobody is what drew me into that company.
I agree.
And so
Steve was a good dude.
He really was. And you know, his kids were super awesome, and anything you needed, they were there for you, and they were dedicated to creating a great product, and it allowed me as a nobody to figure out how to get started. And then I did, and then I fell in love with it. And then I started finding people that I could use as mentors to figure out how to get better and go further and try things I'd never tried before. And you know, I'm still young in this game. I'm still trying to figure things out, and so I love it, and it is a huge passion point for me.
Well, I'm a fan of yours.
Thank you.
And you know, I recently reached out to you asking you to make me a custom controller.
Yeah.
And I have it here behind us to match my Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled Fast House Limited Edition. And it matches it perfectly. And what a beautiful paint job. You got all the colors right. You got the scheme right. And you brought some of your work with you today.
Sure.
Let's do a little show and tell. Show people
Sure.
what you're really capable of.
I appreciate it. It is safe, yes. Yeah, this is actually kind of cool because this rifle is done for a company called Black Axe Outdoors, who is also a fairly young company. Black Axe actually helped me design my logo and get my website up and running. So we're doing a rifle for him. He actually designed this whole layout and sent me the design and says, can you do this? And of course I was, sure I can. And then an ungodly amount of hours later realized that it was way harder than I expected, but it turned out really cool. And we did the inside to kind of have the matching color, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
orange inlay
Yeah,
inside the rail.
all inside. When you open it, it's all inside all orange on the inside
Yeah,
as
even
well.
on the inside of the mag well, all your accents. I mean, what an incredibly detailed job, man.
Thanks.
It looks beautiful. It looks like it belongs on the cover of the next Call of Duty. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely badass.
That's
So,
kinda his thing.
we have another piece that
Yeah.
you brought, a shotgun with a camo pattern.
Yep. Shotgun's a little more simple.
Yeah, but still very pretty, urban, tactical camo pattern.
Yeah. This is my baby. This is my one that I shoot, and I keep it at home. And the camo design is actually one that is drawn from scratch.
Yeah.
And then created and cut and laid and try to work on small details. But I love this one because it's just simple colors, and that's kind of more my thing. Is I like them
Absolutely.
pretty basic. But
Yep.
yeah, thank you, sir.
Very cool.
Vanna over here
Thanks,
is doing
Ryan.
amazing. Oh, Ryan is not Vanna. Okay.
Okay, so this is where we move on to our kind of our fun segment.
All right.
This is our meme segment. This is where I hand you a meme, and it'll pop up on screen, and our audience can see it. And this is your first reaction.
Okay.
So let's see what we get here.
So, call it paint one more time with Medea. Man, you know what's funny is when you're talking to people about what you do, it's hard to say that I do custom coating. Because they're like, oh, you do hydro dip? And I'm like, no. And everybody just assumes it's just paint. It's hard to get them to understand that, I guess in the grand scheme of things, it's paint, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah, it's a ceramic mil-spec coating.
Yeah, and it's hard to get people to understand that, but
Yep.
that is 100% so true.
Awesome. All right, here's the next one. I like this one. This one's I think my favorite out of the
scared.
two.
Oh yeah, I mean, it cost me more in gas than this gun to get up here. Everybody loves a high point. I mean, it doubles as a hammer. But yeah, no multi-cam on that. I mean, you go get some stickers for it, maybe.
Yeah. Well, what I find ironic about that is, you'll have a gentleman with a high point come in and ask for the most unique paint job ever on his gun, and then be surprised at the cost of it.
Yeah,
Yeah. You're going to walk out with something that's 100% unique to you. So, you can't really get that anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be cheaper than your $119 gun.
Like my suggestion is to run over to Walmart and get you some multicam or whatever you want to do, and a nice clear coat, and have at it.
Yeah, awesome. Well, on to the last question.
Sure.
Recently, I've been watching your YouTube channel, Gun Inc. Designs, and I've noticed a plethora of videos on goat guns.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about goat guns, your relationship with them, and what you do with those guys.
Man, it's funny because goat guns is much like Duracoat in the fact that started off as a really slow relationship, and Brad reached out to me from Goat Guns, and I was trying to do my first ever giveaway, right? And I basically put a post out and I said, hey, I'm gonna do my first giveaway. If anybody wants to help, it'll be small, but if you want to, send anything or add anything to it, let me know. And I got a few people sent some stuff in, and Goat Guns reached out and said, hey, we'll send you something. And I had only ever seen like Alex, throw up Goat Guns all the time, and I was always enamored by that. But so he sent me one, and I was like, this thing is freaking cool. So I did a custom goat gun, and interestingly enough, I did a topo design on it. Took it all apart, broke it down, did a whole giveaway process, gave it away. It was really awesome. Short time after, he reached out to me again and said, hey, can you customize one for me? And I was like, sure. He goes, I'll pay you. I was like, I tell you what, why don't you send me a couple and I'll do one for you. So he sent me a couple, and then it was back and forth, and we have done that now for 2 years, maybe
Awesome.
longer. And last year, towards the end of last year for Halloween, he said, hey, I want to do a big lot. And so he asked me if I could do 50 custom. They have the new SIG MCX, which is really beautiful.
And for people who don't know, what are goat guns?
Oh, so goat guns are the little mini models, and they are basically replicas of, they've got the M4, the AR-15, the SIG MCX, they've got a 19, oh, perfect, there you go. So a couple of little minis here, and this is probably one of the more popular ones, which is the 1911, and it's got rounds in it, and the new models actually eject. They function. You can take them apart. Oh, this is the updated model. How about that? That's cool. I should have done that. Anyway, so they got little mini rounds, and you can fully disassemble them down to every piece and part. The trigger works, but as with the real one, it doesn't work unless you pull the palm safety. So it's a lot of fun. They're metal, and most of them are 100% metal. Some of them have some plastic parts on them, like this Thompson does. Yeah. The cool thing is they're continuing to grow and develop, and they're building relationships. So SIG, for example, just came out last year. They finally got approved to have actually a stamped SIG MCX, which is really amazing. So we did a batch of 25 because he said 50, and I lost my mind. I was like, "There's no way." Because for those of you who don't know, I also work a full-time job where I run another business, and I work 50 plus hours a week. Then I try to do that, and I've got a kid, and so it's a lot. So trying to run this business is kind of scary. So we did 25, and we presented them, and they sold out in 9 minutes.
Wow!
So it was a pretty big deal.
That's awesome.
And so now we're looking at possibly doing another batch, and he wants to up the ante, but he's going to give me more time. And I was like, cool, let's go for it. So we're looking at doing a new model for this coming Halloween. So I'm pretty excited. And that's turned into a great relationship. But man, the one thing I'll tell you is, much like you, when you and I started chatting, it's often starts really small, but it's about, you treat people with respect, and you ask questions, and you get curious, and you start to build relationships with people. And I think that's the kind of thing that makes the world a great place to be.
Yep.
Is half of my clients can't afford my work, so I love trade. I'm like, yeah, I got parts. You got parts. I got a guy that he does parts with clients and stuff. So he sends me parts that he has all the time, and he's like, hey, I'm trying to work on this rifle for my daughter. I'm like, tell me what you need, and we work stuff out.
That's
and
awesome. Yeah.
I do a lot of
the barter system works well.
It's great.
Yeah.
And as long as it works out for both parties, it's a good way to be. And you're helping people out. And I do a lot of charity work for vets, and that's probably the most important thing for me, is to figure out how do I constantly give back.
Yep.
But yeah, that's it. Go Guns are pretty awesome. I have a great relationship with those guys, and hope that will just continue on for some time. And
Well,
I'd love to
awesome.
see you start carrying them here.
Yeah, I would like to as well. I originally tried to become a dealer, but it was during COVID, and they didn't have any supply, and they weren't accepting new dealers.
Yep.
But we may re-trigger that. And,
Well, that would be awesome. I will tell you that I have talked to the person that you will be talking to, and he is waiting for you.
okay, awesome. Well, we'll give him a call then, Ryan.
Yeah.
Awesome. Ian, brother, thank you so
Thanks.
much. I really admire your work.
I appreciate that.
If you
Likewise.
haven't seen his channel yet, Gunning Designs on YouTube, see what he does. Incredible work. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Thanks
brother.
for having me. It's been awesome.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Hey guys, sure do appreciate you watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe, and also hit that bell button so that you get a notification every time we put out a new video. Until next time, we'll see ya.